Welcome back to Wrestling Flash. In this WWE and all things wrestling video we are going to look at Cody Rhodes not returning to WWE, Brock Lesnar's controversial private conversation leaked, WWE hits AEW with a lawsuit, Alexa Bliss leaving WWE. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, so you are the first to know when we upload a new video. Kurt Angle returned for another episode of his ad-free-shows.com podcast and opened up about Brock Lesnar leaving WWE in 2004 and the backstage atmosphere during the build-up to WrestleMania 20. The Beast Incarnate infamously decided to quit WWE after experiencing a quick rise to main event stardom. Angle revealed he had a private conversation with Brock Lesnar about his status within the company. Brock Lesnar was unhappy with WWE's rigorous travel schedule and was eyeing a jump to the NFL following his sudden WWE exit. Kurt Angle advised Lesnar to wait until WrestleMania 20 before informing the office about his decision to walk away. Lesnar, however, was in a hurry to depart the promotion. Brock had a private conversation with me about a month before WrestleMania, and he told me he wanted to try out for the NFL and that he didn't like the travel WWE produced for him every year. He just didn't want to be on the road that much. He told me he wanted to try out for the Minnesota Vikings. He actually contacted the recruiter, and they were interested, and so he asked me, what should I do? Should I tell Vince now, or should I wait? I told him, listen, if I were you, I'd wait till after WrestleMania and then tell Vince that you're unhappy and you want to leave the company. But Brock decided to go back home, and he told Vince right when we got back home from the tour when he was talking to me on the tour. That's when he told me about him wanting to leave. As Lesnar was a homegrown talent, Vince wasn't pleased with his call to quit WWE. Kurt Angle noted that the WWE chairman was hurt by the development, but it made his job easier in the booking department as Lesnar took the loss to Goldberg at WrestleMania 20. The Olympic gold medalist even admitted that Vince could sometimes be unforgiving towards talent. He ended up contacting Vince, and that's what enabled Vince to decide that Brock would do the job. Vince already knew Goldberg was leaving. He didn't know Brock was leaving at this particular time, but when Brock came home from that tour and told Vince, it hurt Vince. It stunned him. So everybody knew that Brock was leaving, and Goldberg was leaving. Most likely Vince is probably going to stick it to Brock because Brock was younger. He was full-blown WWE. He was WWE his whole career. Goldberg came from WCW. So, Vince, when you're part of his company, you start out, he wants you there forever. When you leave, Vince can be a little bit unforgiving. While Brock Lesnar eventually made a full-fledged return to the company, the former UFC heavyweight champion didn't enjoy the exhaustive lifestyle of being a WWE superstar during his initial run. As explained by Kurt Angle, Lesnar didn't wish to be on the road throughout the year and figured playing for the Minnesota Vikings would keep him closer to home more often than not. Brock had a lot on his mind at that particular time. He wasn't enjoying himself being on the road 100 days a year. He hated the travel, and he wanted to think of a simpler life. Then he thought, you know what? I can try out for the NFL. If I make the NFL team, I'd be home most of the time. I only have to travel 8 weeks a year, just for one day, because that's what the NFL does for the away games. They only got away for one day and came back. Brock just felt that better suited him. There was a lot weighing on his mind at that particular time, so he wasn't the same. In 2022, Brock Lesnar is still a marquee name in WWE as he will face Roman Reigns in a massive title unification match at WrestleMania 38. Who do you predict to emerge as the undisputed champion? Sound off in the comments section. Cody Rhodes not returning to WWE. It sounds like Cody Rhodes might not be returning to WWE after all. In recent weeks, it has been widely reported that the American Nightmare's departure from All Elite Wrestling would lead him back to WWE, a company he left in 2016. Now, it sounds like this might not be the case. According to Cassidy Haynes of Bodyslam.net, Rhodes' talks with WWE have reportedly fizzled out. This means the two sides are at a standstill and the American Nightmare is still a free agent. With Cody Rhodes seemingly not returning to WWE as initially expected, speculations have already begun about a potential return to All Elite Wrestling. Haynes spoke to a source who believes there is hope that Cody can be brought back into the AEW fold. Tony Khan's recent purchase of Ring of Honor makes Rhodes' potential return to AEW an even stronger possibility. Cody could play a significant role in the promotion that helped him rise to prominence after departing WWE several years ago. In Ring of Honor, the Young Bucks and Rhodes helped create a massive surge of popularity for the Bullet Club faction in the United States. The promotion also helped solidify Rhodes as a main eventer in the eyes of the fans. While Rhodes' future is far from confirmed, it appears that his next move could be a big one for the entire pro wrestling community. What are your thoughts on this Cody news? Do you think the American Nightmare is on his way back to All Elite Wrestling? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. WWE hits AEW with a lawsuit for breaching Jeff Hardy's contract. According to latest reports, WWE is planning on suing rival company AEW over Jeff Hardy's contract breach. Despite being released from WWE in early December 2021, Jeff Hardy cannot announce his wrestling future due to a 90-day no-compete clause embedded in his deal, which stops the former WWE champion from performing for another promotion until the 90 days are up. Speaking on the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer reported that WWE is looking for evidence of contract tampering by AEW. Hardy, today, is under contract to WWE. If you say that, it's frickin' admission to tampering. Jeff saying it's already a problem with WWE because, of course, they're looking to do something legally in this situation. I mean, they're looking for that mistake. Meltzer went on to say how Hardy tried to simmer down the talk of him joining AEW. Look, we all know Jeff Hardy is coming in. Jeff Hardy himself said it until he realized, oh my god, I just FD up. So, he had to say, I didn't mean it, because it's of course, he's coming in, unless something falls through. It's understood. Everyone in wrestling knows it, but you can't say it. Jeff Hardy recently took to social media to squash rumors surrounding his future. A seminal moment in Jeff Hardy's career that first showed fans his potential as a singles performer came in 2002 when the charismatic Enigma faced The Undertaker on Raw in a ladder match for the WWE Undisputed Championship. In an interview with Stephanie Chase from Digital Spy, Hardy spoke about his respect and gratitude for the Deadman, especially after their battle in 2002. Me being a young Jeff Hardy and going in there with the legend, the Hall of Famer known as The Undertaker, he's pretty much like superhuman. He helped me so much as far as what he did for me back then in that ladder match, and I'll never be able to repay him. Despite losing the ladder match, Jeff gained an incredible amount of respect from not just The Undertaker but also the fans. Alexa Bliss leaving WWE. Former Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion Alexa Bliss recently took to her social media to send a heartfelt message to her fans. However, the nature of the tweet has left many fans concerned about whether she is hinting at something else. The goddess missed this past week's episode of Monday Night Raw even though the show took place in her hometown of Columbus, Ohio. There was initial speculation that she missed it to prepare for her wedding to Ryan Cabrera. However, the WWE star later clarified that was not the case. Check out her latest tweet, "Love you all. Just wanted you to know," wrote Bliss. Following her tweet, fans are now concerned whether Bliss is subtly hinting towards leaving WWE. Some fans even started speculating that she wasn't happy with her booking in the company. Alexa Bliss missed most of the second half of 2021 due to sinus surgery. She returned earlier this year. While fans hope to see her bring back her old The Goddess persona, Bliss continued her sinister gimmick with Lily the Doll. For several weeks, she was part of backstage segments getting counseling from her doctor, wanting to become normal again. At Elimination Chamber 2022 in Saudi Arabia earlier this month, she finally made her in-ring return. She competed in the Women's Elimination Chamber match to determine the #1 contender for Becky Lynch's Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 38. She managed to reach the final two but was eliminated by Bianca Belair. According to the latest report by Mike Johnson of PW Insider, WWE doesn't seem to have any plans for Alexa Bliss for WrestleMania 38, which is less than a month away. Even though she just returned to WWE TV, we are told that what is next for her will likely not happen until after WrestleMania. Many fans expected Alexa Bliss to win the Women's Elimination Chamber match and face Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. With that out of the equation, it is to be seen how WWE utilizes her at the grandest stage of them all this year, if at all.